sad ropes.
It's like become a term. How's the frame?
It's wide.
Wide?
Wide frame.
Wide.
Just for us.
Because we've been eating chocolate cake and such. We need the wide frame extension. So I'm free to move.
Yeah.
Groove.
Move and groove.
Cool.
Can
Can I do the sad ropes? Is there enough room for that?
There's always enough room for the sad ropes.
Okay, so stay tuned for the sad ropes.
Right.
So folks, peeps, dudes and dudesses, we are in New Orleans, Louisiana. We landed, when did we get here?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. You know me, bad with that. I was like, we got here yesterday,
Can you
but that
believe
would
that
not be true.
in 5 days I'll be leaving?
Yeah. Boom.
Just like that.
Just rock star style.
Rose.
You just fly in and
Fly in, fly out.
sprinkle a little pixie dust, and then you just like toddle along.
What can I say?
So what can I say? Anyway, so we've got a herd of dogs that we're working with, bunch of clients that have been waiting for us to get down here. So it's cool to get down here. It's a little toasty, a little humid.
Yes.
Got a little bit of the NOLA heat going on, but it's also like beautiful,
Gorgeous.
stunning, awesome.
And if you look outside, it looks like it's like winter.
Looks like it's October.
Fall. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
Looks
and
like
then you walk out and you're like,
like
oh, it's like heat. In the
yeah,
wall.
you're paralyzed and you fall to the ground. So anyway, so we're in NOLA. We're always happy to be here, even with a little heat, a little sweat, a little humidity. Things are cool. We've got the new dogs out, and we're working them here. We've got 2 fighting dogs. We've got then just a really kind of nervous, insecure,
pity. Yeah.
sweet girl, but she's been going after several dogs in her home environment and like extended like backyard, which is kind of like got like another dog that like kind of cohabitates.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. But so we're working on her and trying to get her into a spot where they've got great recall and be able to correct her for like, she picks up dogs and does the shimmy shimmy shake.
Shake.
She doesn't shake.
Yeah,
she doesn't shake. She just picks up and holds and says, "What do you think about this?" And the dog's like, "Don't shake, don't shake." So
and they're be terrifying to the dog when you think about it.
Yeah, when your feet come off the ground and another dog has got you in their clutches, and you're like, well, if the shake happens, I'm checking out.
I'm done.
Luckily, she's doing this with smaller dogs, but she hasn't punctured any dogs, so she's using a lot of inhibition to like control herself. Anyways, so some pretty interesting cases that we're working on. Do we have any one-on-ones coming up too?
Yes.
Yeah, we just jam-packed. Just this ain't no vacay.
No.
Anybody who thinks it's just red beans and rice and like sitting around with like a daiquiri. I wish. But that is not the case at all. So anyways, let's see, a couple other things I want to chat about. So we're almost at the 100th episode, which is wild and crazy. So the pressure's on you. Are you gonna whip up anything juicy?
Me?
You're the tech lady in charge.
What's tech have to do with it? You're the one who needs to jump out of an airplane. I can't do that.
I could have sworn that you said you were going to whip up something special for the 100th episode.
Yeah. I thought you were still talking about the donut.
Or the chocolate cake or jumping out.
Yeah.
I mean, jumping out of a cake isn't really that like challenging.
No, it's true.
No. So, okay. So you're going to whip up something. You're going to try
Probably. Try to do something.
Well, we'll see what happens, guys.
No, I mean, we'll do something, but I hope it's cool.
Right. Maybe it'll just be like, it's the 100th episode, and everybody will be like, oh, that's great.
We'll do throwbacks. It'll be like a
Oh, cool. Like maybe some greatest hits, some sad ropes and such.
Maybe. Yeah.
Cool.
Some cool.
Okay, so we got that coming up, 100th episode. Hard to believe because, I mean, that means we've been doing this a hell of a long time. We were talking about the other day that it was like out of all of these episodes, I think we've only missed 2 weeks, which is pretty
doing this almost 2 years.
Yeah. But just the consistency is pretty amazing, especially for how much we travel and things going on. So really proud of us that we've managed to hold that together, and especially like if you guys could have had like glimpses to behind the scenes, how many scrambling nights of like it won't upload, or I can't make this, I just can't find this file,
Bad internet connection,
right? Or you get you get it like 75% of the way loaded, and then it like crashes out,
or we would not be in the zone of doing it. We'd be working dogs, we'd be doing all our thing, and literally Friday night Sean would text me, I'd be home, and Sean would be like, we didn't shoot Q&A Saturday. We're like,
what kind of production company are we, right? Like, holy shit, our TV show's not happening.
But what we did do, we didn't skip weeks, but we did do, sometimes it came out like on Monday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it came out like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like a couple days like that.
Yeah, it was a little sluggish.
Yeah, we were
a little slow.
on the uptake.
Yeah, a little.
But it wasn't for lack of trying. Let's put it that way.
But we've managed to do really good. You know, and we were talking about the other day of how like it was just an idea, and we're like,
we'll probably do like a few of these.
And then like it's just kind of blossomed and done its thing. So anyways, 100th episode coming up, super awesome. And numbers keep going up, so obviously you guys are enjoying stuff to some extent.
Yep.
So that's good news. Some other big news, we've got our TGD workshops that have been going like gangbusters. We just wrapped, like literally the day before we flew out, we wrapped our first TGD problem solving / ECollar workshop, which had another gang of like awesome folks and a gang of like pretty seriously challenging dogs.
Yeah.
A lot of different stuff going on, from like resource guarding and dog aggression and reactivity and what have you. Only thing we didn't have a moose. We didn't have a moose running around, but that goes out to Chuck. But we had a lot.
A dog named Moose who was out of his mind at our first.
The one before that, like everybody was like, whew, Moose needs a seatbelt, a parachute, and a helmet.
He would just be like, oh, he's just gonna be a silly
goofy
lab,
lab.
and he like took
Moose
over the...
like ran the joint.
Oh my gosh.
We had to get a big butterfly net and chase him down and like hog time. Anyways,
so
so the workshops are going really well, and I'm not just saying that just to kind of toot our own horn, but it's been an exciting thing for us to get into, something that we have talked about for a while, and to have them kind of take off, have a really nice response, but also for us, it's been really enjoyable. It's been a different way to connect with people.
Just like a cool, like a hang, and like a really like dog-centric hang.
And an intimate hang. Like it's a small group, and like we hang out in the living room. We train outside a little bit, but we hang in the living room, and there's a lot of talking and connecting. And I don't mean talking about gossip and stuff, but talking about dog stuff and life and working through personal issues and dog issues.
And philosophies on like what's going on with the dogs. And what's cool I've found is that everyone that comes in is pretty open with like, okay, here's my issue. I'm not sure where I need to tune up yet, but this is kind of like what I need, and then we all kind of problem solve together. It's not like
and they're really open-minded too.
Like, yeah.
These folks are coming in really open-minded. So. They're hip to our approach and our methodology. So it fits together really nice because they've already done a lot of homework typically, and then we get together and we all problem solve, and we've had it's just been a really fun, good time.
Last workshop, we had some really diehard, cool fans, like we're diehard fans of him, and they've been following us for a while. Yeah. We had Daphne. Who else did we have?
Bethany.
We had Bethany. We had, oh my gosh, Candace. Too many. Bonnie.
Yep.
Roger. We had Sandra Christman, of course.
Yeah, and Eric.
Yeah, we just had like a really good group of people. I know I'm leaving people out, but Alexis Nowak. We've just had some cool people there, and it was like a little family reunion.
It really is.
Finally, like meet and talk, and it was cool.
Yeah, so it's been really fantastic. We're really excited, and now we've got 2 more coming up this year before the end of this year.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, the LA one.
Got the dates up here for the LA one and the New Orleans one. New Orleans one is almost sold out, so jump on that. We've only got a few working spots left.
LA's still got
plenty of spots left. Yeah, we're good on LA. They do sell out though, so
so next Q&A Saturday it might be like there's only one spot or none. So and that's not to just like boom get you guys going, but just to let you know that we do it just kind of like hits when it hits. And one of the things I just want to mention about the workshops that's super important, and we talk about it a little bit in posts and things like that, but it doesn't matter whether you're just beginning or you're a pro or wherever you are at in your your growth of your dog, the growth of your dog. It's a really safe, comfortable, relaxed, supportive environment. I know that might sound like touchy-feely and like, of course you say that, but it really is. It's a spot where the folks the folks that gravitate towards it and the vibe that we work really hard to create is a spot where it's really safe to try things, to challenge yourself, to be a little vulnerable and say like, I'm not sure about this. And so it's not any of those workshops or seminars where you're going to feel uncomfortable or crappy about yourself because you don't know something that you feel like I should know.
Or you messed up your dog, or like pretty much every dog that comes in there has been messed up at some point, just like I messed up my dogs. Right.
Like so we're the last ones to judge. But it is a really cool, safe, family kind of friendly, warm spot to like learn stuff and not feel unsafe. So I just wanted to say that. Beyond that, we're totally revamping T3, which is big freaking news. So T3 is what? How many seminars? Like guess?
I don't know, 27,
almost 30 something of them over the last 3 years and change, right? And so obviously the T3 seminar has become very popular, and it's gone from 3 days to 7 days, and it's grown and blossomed and turned into this big thing, and lots of people have come through it and graduated and gone on to do really great things. But that said, we really wanted to tweak it and make it better. So we're always looking to like, how do we tweak it and make it better? How do we make it more fun for us? How do we make it more fun for you? And then ultimately, how do we make it more valuable for you guys? So we're in the process right now, blueprinting out this complete overhaul. I mean, like, I'm kind of excited just because like T3 has been awesome, but it's been a lot of like, I don't want to say the same stuff because it always adjusts a little bit, but the overall vibe has been very similar. But now we're talking about shaking it up with some pretty exciting things that we won't even talk about right now, but it's like...
I mean, curriculum's similar. You know, curriculum's always changing and always like morphing with the times and all that stuff. We're just looking, basically what we're doing is we're going to add time on to the day, and we're going to add a little bit more like problem solving stuff with us, with the dogs, because there needs to be, the components of T3 need to be like, you guys, whoever's coming for 7 days needs to get a good hands-on experience with their own dogs or with whatever dogs are there. But also we know that like that takes a ton of time, so we also want to add in, and we also want to be able to like work like behavior mod and stuff like that for trainers that just want to see that stuff. So we're going to try to add time on so that we can have both of those things included, as opposed to just what we've really tried to focus on mostly is like hands-on, and if there's time, doing some more problem-solving rehab
and when Laura says hands-on, she means like running people through the basics, like teaching them all the basic foundational like behaviors on leash and prong, then ECollar, and moving them slowly through that. And it's all super important stuff that you need. But honestly, like, if we focus entirely on that ourselves, then you guys don't get to see us like work with heavier dogs or work behavior mod and do more serious stuff. So what we're looking to do is combine the best of both worlds, really up the personal development aspect of it. We got some cool strategies for this or for that. The business aspect, branding, and that whole component, like really go deeper with that, and then go deeper with us being able to work hands-on with dogs in a more kind of significant, some maybe more serious cases, things like that, while extending the day and being able to teach you guys all of the basics that you need. So we're pretty excited because I think it's a good hack to be able to like, boom, add more stuff and give everybody more value and have it be more of a rewarding, fun thing for everybody involved. So that's pretty cool. I think that's really it. We're here in NOLA, New Orleans, like everybody knows that. So
doing our thing, just working dogs. We're also here doing a ton of projects that we have to get done, like stuff that we need to
a little catch up time. Rants. We're really behind on rants. I'm gonna try and get some of those out. But anyways, oh God, does everybody know the TGD book?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows.
Do they know?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They know that it's happening.
You guys know? So, TGD book coming soon. First, this girl's book has to hit and go live, and she's really close.
This week.
You are finishing the proof, or
finishing the proof.
You're green lighting the proof?
I sent in my deposit, and so like we're like a month away from getting the books.
So I was going to say Q&A in the pig, Coyote in the pig. It's a mashup. Right, we should get so Coyote and the Pig, Laura's book, is like almost ready to hit, and that's super exciting. It's been a work in progress for a really long time, and I'm really excited for you.
Oh, thanks.
So it's going to be super awesome. And then once we get that stuff out of the way, then we can get down to the TGD book, and we can do that, and we'll get that under you guys' hot little hands. Hopefully before Christmas is the big goal.
Definitely before Christmas.
That said, it's time to rock and roll and get into the show because these intros are getting long.
Super long in the tooth. Lowdown.
Lowdown's become kind of like a little like side player. She's been like a little co-star of this. Okay, anyways. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog. And to my right is the lovely Laura Morgan. Ta-da! And all this stuff that you can't see, I'm actually doing the intro right? I got it. I'm back in the groove. I'm back in the saddle. I sat up all night. All the stuff you can't see, which is really just the loft and a dog in place over there. Nothing really exciting. Is The Good Dog's Q&A Saturday number 97.
I do the 9 this time, remember?
Crap. Number 97. Right? We'll get it. One of these, by the 100th episode, the 100th's going to be easy.
No, it's hard when we switch places.
Oh, that's what it is, right? So I'm not really like
you're fine.
mentally challenged. I was just
trying to gently remind you.
It was gentle. It was gentle.
Thank you.
Neutral?
Neutral.
Okay, cool.
Keeping
Awesome.
it real.
All right, great.
The wedding.
Toenails don't
Changed
match.
them. No, I changed them to blue.
Okay, that's right. Yay. That's right. You gotta have a little excitement in your life. Anyways, so guys, let's jump into the show before you guys all fall asleep and tune out and start watching like cat videos or something like that. You ready?
I would rather watch cat videos.
I just had a 4-banger cappuccino and another slice of chocolate cake.
Did you? Stop it.
Because the chocolate cake and the cappuccino, I don't know if you guys know this, but it creates like almost like nuclear fission or is it fission or fusion?
Fusion.
Yeah, it created that, whatever you just said, it created that. And so I'm like a nuclear reactor. I'm like Iron Man where he's like pulsating. I'm like, ready to go.
Chocolate cake is heavy duty stuff.
And I heat it up in the microwave. By the way, just real quick, there's a place called Cafe Envy right down the street that does really great coffee and does really great chocolate cake and other snacks. And so I always heat it up in the microwave. I brought it out and I heat it up maybe 20 seconds too long, which is really not too long because it just makes it a pudding-like mess. And as I walked over to the table, there were 2 girls sitting at the table and they were like, their eyes were like big as saucers. And they both leaned over like that. I'm like, you just got to heat it up. And they were like, oh, okay. All right. Like, come on, follow me. I may be older, but I've got some tricks up my sleeve. All right, let's jump into this.
You just got to heat it up.
You just got to heat it up, baby. I'll teach you all about the sad ropes. Little chocolate cake, some ropes. We got a party.
All right. So question number 1 comes from Kim.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
We're losing her.
I'm sorry. Kim says, I have a question with regards to Gizmo, my 10-year-old Shih Tzu, whom you're getting to know very well.
Shihtzu.
Shihtzu.
Not Shih Tzu. Just let's be clear, okay? I mean, if he's really misbehaving, maybe you can like have a little fun with the name, but like, we're just gonna clarify that.
I'm not really good with that stuff. It's a Shih Tzu.
It's either a Kanye Corso or it's a Shih Tzu.
A Mastiff.
A Mastiff.
Okay. Anyway, as you know.
Is this why that woman asked, is this a farce? The woman on the post, she was like,
Barbara's the smartest viewer.
Right? She's like, is this all a farce? Are they professionals? No, not really.
Not. Okay. Anyway, as you know, he's doing so much better with regards to structure, boundaries. We're working him through prong and nail ECollar.
Yeah.
We even got him on the treadmill. I never thought I'd see that. Anyway, my question now is one that I mentioned in a post several weeks back, and the 4 of you awesome trainers answered all but one question of that long question during T3. The one remaining question I have is with regards to his extreme fear when I'm cooking. It doesn't matter what room he's in, the reaction is the same when someone is cooking. Extreme fear, shaking the...
I have an extreme fear when you cook.
Oh my gosh, I've never cooked for you, and I won't.
You did, you made me a steak. Remember? The famous steak.
Is it bad?
No, it's great.
Oh.
It was fantastic. I'm making a joke at your expense.
Okay.
I think it also like ties in because it scared the hell out of Belle and she probably took off. We'll talk about that. We'll tie all this in.
We'll tie all this in. Okay. So extreme fear, shaking that looks seizure-like. He's doing great working the program, but I'm not sure at all on how to help him with this. I hope the rest of the training we've been doing with him would help to ease the fear, but thus far nothing has changed there. I took a video tonight and sent it to you guys. We've had him since he was a small puppy of approximately 8 weeks, and he's never had an incident in the kitchen, so I can't figure this one out. It's been like this all his life. Maybe it's just permanently ingrained. So Kim, I did actually see the video. It was great.
I didn't get to see it, so.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet. It's not like extreme like Belle. Like Belle has got a more extreme. He's definitely concerned, and there's like shaking, and there's all that stuff. But I
mean, is he like?
It's not as bad as Belle.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Belle. It's bad, but it's not like that. So just hit it. Yeah, thanks for sending that in, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's not that bad, because I haven't seen the video, so like my dog Belle has major stuff with cooking as well, right? Everybody in the house knows cooking is a bit of a, I won't say off limits, but it's something that we have to prep for. And that might sound funny because I'm a dog trainer, but Belle had some really negative experiences early on, like majorly traumatic experiences with cooking. I used to live in a small apartment, and whoever constructed it had the smoke detector right over the oven. And of course, being a young bachelor, I would like reheat pizza and not do it right with like aluminum foil under it and things like that.
Right.
Pizza would drip down, it would create smoke, set off the smoke detector. Belle would go just bananas. It freaked her out terribly. And then it happened a couple times when I was out of town, where the smoke detectors would just start doing like their kind of like battery draining, you know, like warning thing. And she had been so patterned or so traumatized by the initial ones that when I wasn't home, she'd actually like fully melted down. I had a doggy door at that point, and she broke out, impaled her paw on a nail, broke teeth, broke out through a fence, and then that happened multiple times. And so anytime that we've had a smoke detector like do just even one chirp, anything like that, it's bad news, and she really struggles. Or if people start cooking or anything like that, because she's so smart, she's tied cooking. And this might be something that's happened that you haven't even thought about, that perhaps, and this is a pretty common thing, people are cooking, and through the course of their life, at some point, you burn something, and then smoke sets off the smoke detector, which scares the crap out of your dogs. And dogs are so smart that they connect the association of cooking elicits that smoke detector, and then that creates all the shaking and all the nervousness and insecurity. So that's just, I'm just taking a stab at what could possibly be going on. So your options are really like Laura was suggesting when we were talking earlier before we were filming, like if it's not that severe, you can just put Gizmo in place and enforce that and have Gizmo kind of work through it. If it's not super crazy meltdown.
That's what she's basically doing.
Yeah.
She's got the dog in place.
Okay, so you can wait and see how that looks after, you know, several weeks. It sounds like it's probably been going on for a long time, so you may not be getting the relief you're looking for.
Right.
For me, like, and it's not about avoidance, it's about like, there's only so much counter conditioning I believe that I can do. What I've managed to do is get her to be like, I can go to the oven and I can go to the microwave and I can open stuff. What I did was I put her balls, her toys in there, and so those became really, really positive associations because she's so incredibly ball driven. But I don't cook, right? I'm just saying, like, that was kind of like, you couldn't even go to the microwave or the oven. You open the oven and she
brush the oven, or you brush the stove with like just your hip bone as you're walking by, and she'd hear it and be like,
and start melting down. So for me, I put her away. If we're going to cook, I put her in my bedroom. I put her in the crate and shut the door, and then she doesn't have to sweat it. You said it happens in every room, but I can't imagine, like, if you don't, like, if you let her start melting down and then put her in a room, you're toast. But if you put her in a room prior to cooking, shut the door, put her in a crate, or put Gizmo, I guess Gizmo's a boy, I think maybe, put him in a crate, and then cook and leave the windows open, and, you know, put a little romantic music on, and lay down a little cover fire, you know. So your options are place and let him kind of like cope, get him out of there and put him in another room where he doesn't have to deal with it at all, or do some serious counter conditioning, like, which for me, when dogs have pretty severe stuff, is really hard to do. But you can start trying to use, like, you know, like with Bella, I used her toys because her balls were more important than food. But your dog might be way too stressed for food or anything like that, in which case the counter conditioning doesn't really have much value.
Yeah, that would basically, the counter conditioning would be like, you start cooking. As soon as the cooking sound starts to happen, or those first moments that the dog actually starts to have an issue with it, you're feeding the dog with like
something high value, like something crazy high value that the dog doesn't get.
Awesome. So then the sound of cooking equals that bacon or whatever you're feeding your dog.
Yeah.
Bacon's probably not good for dogs, but whatever it is, cheese, turkey.
Good for us.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
So you just want it to be kind of like it turns into a good thing. Now the thing with counter conditioning is it takes a while. So I would,
and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, it doesn't. It might be conflicting, but I don't know. I feel like that could work for Gizmo. If Gizmo is down with food, that could be a good one for him.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the video. So if the behavior is not super intense, and you have, if Gizmo's kind of food motivated, and there's something you know he really is crazy about, you could do something where you could actually start to pair that, and over time, and be really patient. And see what you get. See by using a little bit of place command, a little bit of training, combined with a little bit of counter conditioning, and see what you get with them. It really depends on the severity, and then if he's too stressed to take the food or not, then you're kind of like stuck in that situation. So I wish we had a better answer for it, but it's like dogs with phobias are extremely challenging to try and turn around, and so. Let's go with that. You've got a couple options, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know. Ooh, it's right on the money.
I got this thing nailed.
Look at you.
I got it nailed. I understand we're under attack.
That we're under attack?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of our comments or one of our posts.
We've got. So sad.
This is something that happens a lot, guys. This is really, this is kind of a cool thing to chat with. So any of you guys that are trainers out there, or owners, if you're owners and you're talking about the tools you use or anything like that, be prepared to like have an onslaught of getting slammed. What typically happens is that a group of pure positive folks, and this goes for trainers especially, pure positive folks will show up in mass on your page and like start going blah, 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 blah.
The weirdest thing about it is they think they're being slick, but they're not.
Yeah, they'll ask like kind of vague, thinly veiled questions.
Like, what's an e-collar? And the guy's like, it gives a dog an electric shock at the handler's whim. Judge for yourself the quality of the training this dog is receiving. And she goes, so basically, it's like a bad infomercial. They're really writing bad.
They get like a script.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, they electrocute the dog and stab him with a prong collar. I'd call that torture, not training. Do these people have no idea how to train a dog, only abuse it? So she asked the question with no question mark, which is also poor writing. But she could write for infomercials that don't exist anymore. And then Sue says, so sad.
Don't get snarky and fuck up your punctuation or grammar.
Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. Like, if you're gonna be snarky and stupid, at least be like perfect with your punctuation and your spelling.
Otherwise, you leave yourself vulnerable.
So sad that his compliance is down to fear. Please research other methods that address food guarding in a much kinder way. I want my dog to wag his butt and feel safe when I approach his bowl, and that's what I have, not this. You probably have a golden that doesn't have hair.
Well, why don't we send 150-pound Conan over and see how she does, and if he wags his butt, and maybe when he grabs her by the throat and drags her around like that, maybe his butt will wag a little bit.
And then all the people will chime in. Oh, they're just so funny. It's so poorly done. Like, I would,
but they typically show up in groups, just so you guys know, so it doesn't feel weird to you. Any of you who haven't had it yet, we've had it so many times that it's as soon as we get off of shooting this, I'll delete and ban all those folks. But it happens, like, typically they'll try and bait me with a question that's like, hey Sean, so what do you like something, and I'll be like, this seems awfully suspicious. ferocious, and then they descend upon you like sharks. Nah, I'm trying to tell you. So now I just ban and delete. But if you are a trainer or an owner, be prepared to catch some hell if you're using tools that don't fit into the canon of the positive only world, because they will be more than happy to write an infomercial for you and then try and tear you apart and perhaps leave out question marks and things like that.
Maybe they're trying to pursue writing gigs and they're like failing.
This is just an opportunity to like work on drama.
Practice dialogue.
Yeah, maybe. I love it, actually.
You love it?
Yeah, because it's so goofy sounding.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I want my dog to wag his tail and wag his butt and like, they're electrocuting. We need to make a graphic. We need to make a graphic that says new scientifically proven methods of training. Electrocution and stabbing changes behavior. I want to put it out there. I want to address it like
you gotta
straight
tell
on.
People what's real,
right?
Because that's what we do.
I mean, luckily we got that bandana around him, so you don't see all the impaling marks on Conan. Anyways, he was 150 pounds, and he went home behaving himself.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, Rochelle, question number 2 says, are you guys taking dog training questions here or business stuff? And I told her both.
Yep.
She said, great. Have either of one of you worked with a business coach? Why or why not?
Is this a trap?
It probably is.
Find out. She's like, so you guys just do things without ever being educated. No, I'm paranoid. Sorry, go ahead.
Why not? And if so, any tips on how to find a good one? Thanks again.
Okay, so we really decided a while back that we wanted to open this up to more than just dog training, and we haven't done a very good job.
Saturday.
Yeah, but we haven't done a very good job of like reminding everybody that it's open to more than dog training. It's open to like life questions, personal development work, business, entrepreneurship, things like that. All the stuff that we kind of like the worlds we work in.
Yeah.
So if you do have questions about that stuff, feel free to hit us up because it's a nice change and we have a fun time talking about it.
Not like we are the authority on anything, but we've been working in this world and actually around a lot of people that are great influences and have like really tried to surround ourselves with that stuff. So we definitely have our finger on the pulse.
I like that.
You like that?
It's on the pulse, yeah. So let's jump into this. So for me, maybe we'll do like a little bit of me and then you. So for me, I didn't go to college. I barely, by the skin of my teeth, escaped high school. Escaped. Literally, I climbed over the fence and they didn't shoot me and I got away. So I barely escaped high school. And as far as business stuff, anything like that, it's all been being self-taught, which in this day and age, like, it's almost kind of cheesy to say self-taught because there's so much information out there. So between YouTube videos and Facebook and Instagram and audiobooks and regular books and just being able to dive into, like, there's so many mentors available that have done amazing things with business in the past and then are currently doing amazing things, that it's like you've got so much to pull from if you're willing to do the work. So for both of us, like, we kind of started off with like some more macro stuff with like Jim Rohn, Darren Hardy, Randy Gage, a lot, even Bob Berg. Bob Berg's book, like The Go-Giver, was really kind of had a pivotal influence on us about like how we structured our business and what we wanted it to be about mission-wise. So no official background for me, no business mentoring, no business classes, nothing like that, which is kind of good news, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that that's the only way to go. I mean, if you want to go to business school and it feels like the right move for you, then rock and roll and go do that. But that wasn't what felt right for me. What felt right for me personally was, and I've always been like, whether it's dog training or music or whatever, I've always preferred to teach myself. I've always preferred to work at my own because I have a very particular way of learning, and everybody knows I've got like some weird learning stuff. So I need like lots of time to digest and process and go through things and pull information out and create my own kind of perceptions of stuff. So for me, I didn't go through any kind of academic courses or anything like that, but I tell you, I follow the heck out of people that are doing amazing stuff. Jeff Gellman actually was an early influence. Jeff helped coach me like early on, if there was anybody that was a mentor, Jeff definitely helped me early on with like pricing structure and setting up some foundational things that were challenging early on.
Just like giving you green lights to kind of like
raise prices, do packages, things I was scared of, things I think a lot of trainers are scared of. So I have to give Jeff some serious props for that, which he'll love.
Jeff's a huge mentor.
Yeah. So, and then we've kind of done the same. We've been able to give back and forth, which has been really fabulous.
That's the coolest thing about the partnership.
So that's kind of my deal. I read every day, study every day. I'm working, like I follow Gary Vaynerchuk and a bunch of other business guys that I think are doing things at a really like the highest level, and those are my teachers. And then I emulate what I see that works, and then we work as a partnership to take that and filter it in and create our own thing. Now, Laura, tell them what your gig is and what your background is.
So I went to business school, but I went for economics. I didn't go like with the pure like I'm gonna open my own business. I just, if I'm really being real, I took an economics degree because it would make me graduate the fastest.
That's a great story.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. They get it.
All my credits like lined in, like I switched majors, and the major.
How quick did you get through college?
Under 3 years. No jokes. Under 3 years I got through.
That's some hacking. That's some hard ass work and some hacking, right? I
was like a little like entrepreneur in terms of like
getting through business school, right? You're hacking it up.
But so I got, I did, business and economics. Economics was my main degree. So basically, that was my background. But I really wasn't like looking to be an entrepreneur. I was looking like to do creative stuff and all that. But when I, business coach wise, like I would say Jeff, you, but then all the influences like Sean's saying, like Gary, Jim Rohn, Bob Berg, Jack Canfield, Zig Ziglar, all these people that I study for like personal development, but all of them are businessmen or business entrepreneurs.
First and foremost, they're entrepreneurs and businessmen. Yeah.
So they're like, but they've done the art of, the business of personal growth and,
teaching, public speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they're teaching a lot of stuff that like for me is invaluable, which is like work ethic, which is like, discipline, which is really getting to know people so that the people that work with you and for you feel good in your presence and really want to like do their best work.
Brand integrity. That's been a huge thing for us that we've focused on.
So a lot of these guys have kind of have really like pushed me to feel more confident, and I'm still like getting used to stuff. Feeling like we've got basically 3 businesses between us. So, or 4 businesses between us with Coyote and the Pig.
Good grief.
I know. So, I would just say that for you, if you're looking for someone, I would start with online resources. Start with Gary Vaynerchuk, Marie Forleo. She's even got an online business school. B school. I would study people that you really like. Like if you like the way we've done stuff, you study like what people are doing. Study Jeff Gelman if that's someone that you know.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
And make sure the people that you do pick out, don't pick out people that are all about shortcuts. Don't pick out people that integrity isn't their first and foremost priority. So like Laura's listing people that we gravitated towards because business integrity and lifestyle integrity and human integrity were first and foremost. And that's what's really informed a lot of our journey and the arc of what we've tried to build into this brand and into all these different businesses. So be really, really cautious about who you choose to follow because they'll have a huge impact on you. Darren Hardy, I don't know if we mentioned Darren or not, but Darren, that's a solid guy. Jim is a solid guy. Gary's a solid guy. You follow those guys, you've got some serious great stuff.
And just be careful of the term business coach. Make sure that they're not just telling you like, hey, make $100,000 in 6 months and ask me how, and I'm a business coach. Like this is gonna sound weird, but my guess is that people that are out there hustling as a business coach, they aren't as great at business as they should be. Like people that don't have time to hustle as a business coach because they're running million-dollar businesses are usually ones that you probably want to learn from.
Yeah.
And likely you can't get to them. Marie Forleo is cool because you can actually take her like online business school, which is like a cool way
and Gary Vee's a multi-millionaire who runs multi-businesses and is an investor and all this stuff.
And Seth Godin's doing an online business.
Yeah, it's Seth.
Right?
Yeah, so there's Udemy.
Udemy, courses. Alt MBA.
Yeah. There's so many different things, but honestly, just start digging in and finding people that resonate with you. That's all we've done is like when we were starting out building this is just read a lot of stuff, follow a lot of people that resonated with us, and then like start taking that stuff in and then start doing our own versions of it. So you have to decide what you need to feel safe, to feel comfortable. I don't think you necessarily need to go to business school or to have a business coach to be successful unless you absolutely feel like I can't do it without that. If you don't have that drive and that kind of like being able to step out and risk a little bit on your own, then maybe you need a little bit more help with that.
Some people need more like structure, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's so many resources that that you really can like dive in and take a look and see what you want to get. But just follow people that honestly, like heart and integrity first should be your first priority, and then everything else from there you move from there.
Yeah. Cool. Good luck, Michelle.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
We've got question number 3 comes from Bethany, our girl Bethany Wilson Davison.
We're like old pals now.
I know. Love her.
And just to be clear, Bethany Wilson Davison appears in a photograph on the Good Dog Tip that came out today, and she actually liked it. She's like, I know that dog.
Oh, yeah.
And just to be clear, that I'm very self-conscious about that, but I want to make sure because she's in that picture, and it was like, what are you allowing? We're not implying that Bethany Wilson Davison was allowing anything.
No.
She's kicking butt.
Yeah.
She's working with a client dog in that picture that's got a lot of problems, and so we just like the picture. So it's not about Bethany.
It's not about Bethany. She's a bomb-ass trainer.
And Bethany knows this.
Yes. Okay, Bethany, question number 3 says, I have a question. I have a dog coming in that was just like Baxter. Is it Baxter or was it Brady? I think it's Brady.
I think it's Brady.
Talking about. She says Baxter is the one that was escaping out of windows and out of crates.
Well, I say that's Brady, yeah.
You guys bought that heavy-duty crate, and I'm curious how you did with it. Previously, I've had people get the rough and tough, thick plastic crates, which are a little bit more budget-friendly. But I'm thinking for this particular dog, maybe I should suggest the metal. The level of escaping and destruction that this lab has done is so extensive that I would love your expertise on what I should send them home in. Also, a side note, they have worked with other trainers and had him at daycare and boarding facilities where the separation anxiety extends wherever he is. It's not just at the family. I only mention that because I've had a lot of dogs that showed no signs of it or little to no signs with me after some training, and it's purely associated with a family relationship, so this guy won't be so easy. Lots of shaking, drooling when alone, and even shakes a while after people return. Side note, workshop this last weekend was awesome. You guys are the best. I'm sure you never get tired of hearing it. Thank you, thank you. Oh, she's so sweet.
That's awesome, Bethany. Thank you so much.
That's so sweet.
So we went with an Impact. I think the name of the brand was Impact Crate, and you can get them off of Amazon, and they're not cheap. We went with a collapsible version. I can't remember the exact price, but we went for a bigger one, so we would. I don't know what size this dog was. I don't think she even said, but if you can go for a smaller one, then you can save a lot of dough. We went with I think their biggest one because we wanted to make sure whatever dog came in, we were all set.
Ready,
So far, that crate has held up through 2 different separation anxiety dogs with no breakouts, no damage, nothing. It's really done a great job. So Impact Crate, look, you can buy them directly from them, I think, but I think the pricing ends up, when we did all the work, ends up like with Amazon, coming quicker and about the same price. So,
which is around $800, right?
For the extra large.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think you can get probably a small or medium for like $5, something like that. It's
an investment. It's definitely an investment. I would say for a dog like that, though, you definitely want to like jump in there and make sure that there's no way that the dog can get out. But yeah, it's a big one. But
Yeah.
also having one in your kennel, like having one for your actual training, is a cool investment for you too.
Yeah, I mean, we love having, we had a big pitty just come in that's gone through some crates. Being able to put him in there and know that he's going to be safe is it's a great peace of mind.
Yeah.
But for your client, having a crate that they know that, like, yeah, their dog may bark, or you can get a bark collar and things like that, but that their dog's not going to get out is a awfully nice peace of mind to have. So you can recommend that. There's a few others that we looked at. I can't remember the names. Was it Gunner Kennels, which were the really thick plastic ones, and our friend Ashley sent us a picture with a Malinois with his head broken out halfway through it, so don't go with those. But I would definitely try the Impact if you're looking for something where it's not like, I think the Zinger Winger or Winger Zingers are more expensive, but they're kind of in the same category.
Yeah.
So anyways, what else do we do? So full ECollar program, which I'm sure you're doing with the dog, right? So it's like, we don't just stuff the dog in the crate. We're also, like, for one, making sure the dog's not barking, escalating, getting crazy, scratching, biting, chewing the crate. So you want to shut down and inhibit that cycle or that pattern of all of that stuff. So that's like really good crate, and then ECollar work, especially if you got like a drop cam and you can watch the dog, and you make sure that you don't allow that dog to continue that habit of like panic and escape and things like that. If you do, they're going to stay cycling. Beyond that, full ECollar program, right, to build the dog's overall confidence and obedience and get the state of mind right, get all that stuff into a good zone. And then on top of all that, you got to really, really work with the client and see what's cooking with that, about what kind of affection, what kind of freedom, what kind of, what the lifestyle looks like, just basically. So if they're indulging this dog at all, if they're just letting the dog wander during the day, like all the things I would lock that dog down with tons of structure, tons of emotional distance from the clients and physical distance, like place, and like boom, we're super neutral. And
she was saying that it happens even at boarding facilities and stuff. So there might be a terrible experience involved, which obviously you could do some counter conditioning with it too. Maybe that's part of something, if there was like a major experience with the crate before. So there could be, with the crate or with kenneling or whatever it is. So yeah, just doing your whole program. I know you know what you're doing, and then possibly some counter conditioning with the kennel stuff.
Awesome crate, blocking behavior in the crate from escalating, full ECollar program with high levels of accountability and obedience, changing the owner's behavior, lifestyle, and the way they deal with the dog, counter conditioning if possible. Those are really that's kind of the World Series of like working through separation anxiety. But you have to know, just like we do, that like even these separation anxiety dogs, when they go home, there's always going to be some component of pushback. It's not going to, it's so rare that separation anxiety dogs just like slide back into the home and there's no issues. All the associations of the house and the owners and things like that are going to come flooding back and are going to cause the dog to push against it. So you have to be prepared, but you also have to prepare the owners for that, so they don't freak out, and so they don't think things didn't work and the training didn't work and it's all monkey business and the dog's reverted and blah blah blah. You have to prepare them. It's going to be rough, and they're going to have to earn it back. They're going to have to earn back that this dog is going to behave differently in their home and create new associations. So I kind of dominated that one. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I just kind of took off on a little ranty rant.
Thanks, Beth.
All right,
Let
thanks.
us know.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Okay, we're starting to lose light. It's getting later here.
Talk quick, talk quick, talk quick.
Question number 4 comes from IG, and the handle is Milo_Border Collie.
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Just filling folks in.
Sorry. Hi, Sean. I'd like to just say that I'm a huge fan, and your videos have helped me so much.
Oh,
I'm currently ECollar training my Border Collie Border Collie Milo. He is coming along great, and I only have a couple of things I'm working with him, but those will improve with just some practice.
Excellent.
My question is regarding his recalls and dog aggression. His recalls are great, and I can recall him from great distances just fine. However, he doesn't have great social skills when it comes to dogs, and he tends to be a little unsure of what to do with them and can become nervous very quickly around him. He also never plays with dogs, and he doesn't know how to. So when I recalled him the other day and the dog came out of nowhere and started chasing him in a playful way, he got concerned and startled, and when the dog passed him to run toward me, he saw it as an opportunity to attack, go for the dog. Luckily, I was able to grab him before he got to the other dog, so no one got hurt. However, this was very disheartening, and as he was pretty much 100% off leash, but now I'm back to the long line. Sad face. Do you have anything I can do to correct this? I would appreciate it so much. Thank you for all that you do, and you've helped and inspired so many people. Keep it up. Aw,
Thank you so much.
Nice. Yeah, that's so nice. Look at the puppy.
Is that him?
Cute. Yeah, with bandana over his ECollar.
Looks like this.
Yeah.
Looks like this one over here.
Yeah, it's cutie.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to let you do a little jumping in on this one.
Okay, cool.
Because I kind of motor mouth through the last one.
That's all right. Okay, so I do a lot of this work myself. I do a lot of like off-leash fun with my dogs at the park and stuff, and they're fully on e-collar, and I don't use long lines. Don't recommend that to anyone out there. Just covering all our bases, but I definitely do that. So
when you say don't recommend that, you're saying that you don't not recommend.
Everyone uses a long line, always, 100% of the time.
Covering our ass.
Just a little disclaimer.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you were
if you want to be safe, it really
is to be safe, yeah. So if you were to use no long line, if you were to take that chance on your own without the suggestion being from us here at the Good Dog Incorporated, if you wanted to do that, you're welcome to do that, Milo Border Collie. The thing that I would say that hardcore recall is where it's at for that sort of stuff. Now, my dogs are great with dogs, so I keep them at a distance from dogs when we're at our park. If I see dogs around, I always like make a big, huge bubble and make it very clear to the owners that we're not doing playtime here. Now,
can you explain why, if your dogs are good with other dogs?
I just don't know the other dogs, so, and I'm sure you understand that concept. It's just like,
but so many people don't. So many people feel like they want their dogs to be, friends.
Absolutely. But I just don't know. Like, there's some dogs that look like they would play nice, and then they get into a situation. And the thing about my dogs is they're big, and they can. And Cujo has a little bit of like a kind of silly personality that can cause other dogs to get not excited about it.
Yeah.
So if they're unstable or if they're nervous, I don't want to put them in a position where they have to all of a sudden be bombarded by my dogs, even though they're safe. So I make a huge bubble. Now, there have been situations, and I've periscoped about this before, and I've talked about this before, where Cujo will see another dog and be like, this is it. We're soulmates. Like, we made eye contact. We're going to have some fun. I know that's not what your dog's doing, but that recall that I have on Cujo, which is paired with an e-collar, if he decides not to listen to my verbal, then he comes a running back. So there's no possibility of him getting around another dog and having that sort of scuffle like that you almost had.
Yeah.
Now, your situation was interesting because that dog came out of nowhere and kind of freaked you both out.
Yeah.
So in that situation, if that was me, you're doing a long distance recall, another dog comes running up behind and goes past your dog, and then your dog freaks out. What it is, no, or just a correction, come. So your dog, who was once running after that second dog, is now running straight towards you and knows you mean business because you corrected. So like, I don't care how excited or how nervous or how much you want to take care of that dog, or if you want to go sniff them, whatever it is, instead you come to me. There's no options.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it is. With that, you need to have that bomb-proof recall, which you said you pretty much have. And sometimes, if you have a dog who's uncomfortable with dogs, you might have to go to a little bit of a higher level. If normally your recall level, if she's just sniffing the grass, maybe you tap her at 9 and she's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's Hercules for me. Now, if Hercules is with another dog or running towards another dog, or like they're about to play and I want him to come with me, he's more at like a 25. So it all depends on where their head is at.
Yeah.
So now I would suggest you've got the long line on him again, so that's fine. Now you're gonna play a little bit more safe like that. That's great. But practice, if you do see dogs, recalling your dog off the dogs. Not letting him get close, but if he looks the other way, or there's a dog playing fetch in the distance and he's looking and he looks concerned, Milo come, and then tap the button if he doesn't come right away. So he learns like, I don't care what I'm concerned about, I don't care what's in my environment, I need to always head over to mom when she calls me.
Yeah.
And then you'll start getting more confident, like, oh, I can always, like, even in weird situations, I can always recall him off. Even when he's really concerned, I can always recall him off. And the more you practice, the more he'll be like, oh, I always come when she calls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And just to add to that, I'd be like, the first thing Laura said was that she's also really cautious about creating a bubble around other dogs. So she doesn't go and put her dogs in high pressure situations. So, and I'm not saying you're doing that, but it would be something I'd be highly conscious of. Like, where am I putting my dog? And like, what are the possibilities of dogs coming running out of the bushes? Or, I mean, is it a high dog traffic area?
Yeah.
If it is, maybe that's not the best place for your dog. Maybe it's going to be a spot that your dog's going to be a little more nervous about.
Right.
And maybe you have to make some adjustments about where you take your dog to. So that's one thing. I would like you to think about what environment you're putting your dog in, and then decide if it's the best one for you guys, and if not, maybe adjust that.
Yep.
And then beyond that, so the one other component of this is that if you do see your dog off in the distance and getting like not snotty, but getting into some kind of posturing or something like that, you can absolutely use the ECollar. I wouldn't go high or anything like that, but you can remind your dog at a distance, like, knock that crap off. Like, if you start to see posturing or anything like that, dogs need to know, like, hey, don't engage in that behavior, right? Yeah. So I'm sure if you saw Cujo like starting to like do this with a dog, would you correct him or would you recall him away? And you might have a different approach because he's like,
I would probably recall him away.
Probably recall him away?
Yeah. At that point, if he was close to a dog, but he wouldn't be close to a dog.
Yeah.
Now, what he is typical with him is he'll be running, just playing, and then he sees a dog and he freezes, even though the dog's like across the field, and he's like, it's almost like a little like dance that they do, and he'll freeze and stare. I'll do a low correction for that, just like tap on the shoulder, and then
break him out of
we don't do that, and he goes, oh, okay, and then I call him.
Right.
But if he was over a dog, I'd probably just recall him out, and he'd probably come running.
Yeah. Recall is a great way to get the dog out of a problem situation. My only suggestion about the correction for any of that stuff is if there's a way for you to start cultivating better choices with your dog, as far as like social interactions, if they come up, right? Like I think both of us are advising that you avoid unknown dogs and what that might create. Yeah. But you can also, give your dog a tap if your dog like starts, shoulder over the, or head over the other dog or anything like that, or mounting or getting like they're circling, getting nasty. You don't want to go high because you don't want to startle or spook the dog and get them into a fight, but you do want to say, hey, knock that off. And you may need to do that and then recall the dog away. So it can get a little bit like,
But likely with your dog, since he's not cool with dogs, keep him away from dogs. If you have a situation where a dog runs up just like you did, recall. Recall
and then put him on leash and keep the other dog away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And if that doesn't work, scream and panic and
Cool.
I think we're at the home stretch here, lady.
Let's do this.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Too shy, hush, hush, eye to eye.
What's that mean?
Guys like that, don't you?
What was it?
Just a song.
A reference?
Just a song from the 80s.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
I'm just going to call Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair?
Exactly. All my under 30 watchers. Exactly.
Ooh, it's getting ugly in here. Becky with the good hair, is she from Real Housewives?
No.
Oh, damn. No?
Oh, no. You think people under 30 watch The Real Housewives?
I don't know. I don't know what the demo is. I don't know what the demo is.
No, that's like just sad demo. There's no
That's
like
a sad demo?
That could be like
Okay.
any age.
All right. All right. So you guys can both comment on. I was just thought maybe you might have you might know that song. Does it ring a bell?
You might know that reference.
I do, but I'm not going to actually give it away to you right
gosh,
now.
you're so full of it.
Do you know that?
I don't know anything
Doesn't
you
ring a
just
bell?
said. No, I thought it was another language.
Too shy, hush, hush, I do I?
No.
No? Okay.
Nothing.
Just checking.
Okay.
We just like to check in and see, we're gauging, we're seeing where we're at. So Becky, with the good hair, I'll check you out, babe.
Question number 5 comes from Stephanie. Stephanie says, hey Sean and Laura, I just found you guys a few weeks ago and since then got both my dogs on prong collars and now e-collars working through the DVD. It's
Nice.
so impressively comprehensive in conjunction with the PDF, by the way.
Wow.
Yay,
Nice.
PDF.
Awesome.
We worked on that.
Boy, it's coated in tears.
Oh, it is.
It took so long to write.
It was just so fun. That was when it was done to
Yeah.
be like,
We
wow,
wrote
this
that
is-
during a T3 primarily.
We finished it
We
during
finished it
T3, yeah.
at night, middle of the night, working all night long after T3, 7-day
That's for the
workshop.
prong one, and then the e-collar one, all the Christmas break last year.
Yeah.
It was fun.
A lot of tears.
So she says, I'm so excited that there's hope for my terror/terrier. I've been doing my studying and I'm totally all in with these training methods, but I still have a bunch of questions. So here's one. When correcting for behaviors such as lunging at visitors at the door, what's to stop a dog from parrying the correction to the presence of the visitor rather than to his own lunging behavior?
So we've talked about this so many times,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that as a diss. I just mean it's something that comes up so much.
It's just a great question because that's a good, I know this isn't where you're coming from, but that's a good argument for other pure positives.
Pure positives always trot that one out.
Oh yeah, this
right?
is you're
So
just-
here's my question. How did your dog feel about the people coming? It's people coming in the house, right?
Yeah.
How did your dog feel about people coming in the house without the e-collar?
Not good.
No, that's my.
But she can't
I'm giving
answer
her.
you, so I'm
I'm
pretending.
giving her the evil eyes,
Oh,
so
okay.
she can really. So, how did your dog feel? Not good. What does your dog feel emotionally? Not good. What's the intensity? Not good. Right. So all of the stuff that that could be a possible connection to a negative association. You got it.
You already got it.
It's already there.
Without the e-collar.
It's in place. It's solid. It doesn't matter what tool you use. You're already off to the races. Now, what the e-collar can do for you, or the prong collar, but especially the e-collar can do is, right, so your dog has whatever the trigger is, somebody comes to the door, feels all this angst, all this stuff, you block it with the e-collar, escalation goes down. And here's the magic thing. When the escalation goes down, what it does is for the first time in your dog's life, it creates more of a neutral emotional state, which allows your dog to actually have a door open, right? This is all very grand, but has an emotional door open, hang with me.
Yeah.
And if you do it enough and you pattern it enough, what happens is because your dog doesn't ever go like this, your dog goes like, there's those people, oh, I gotta relax.
Right.
Okay, I can't do that. Oh, I gotta relax. What happens is over and over again with that door open, your dog starts to naturally develop new feelings and associations about those things that it prior had because of patterning and cycling, really crappy feelings, really negative associations, really bad stuff. So the truth of the matter is that it makes a lot of sense, that question, because people think when we talk about Pavlovian stuff or association, that if you connect this with this, then the dog feels this, right? So if you correct an e-collar, it's what pure positive folks say constantly, if you connect an e-collar correction around a dog or a person, the dog is going to hate or be more fearful of the dog or the person. We have never, ever seen that. All we have seen are dogs that already have negative feelings about humans or dogs. We block it. We give the dog an open door to start developing new feelings and associations about that, right? But here's the thing. The thing is that you're assuming, not you, but the message is that discomfort makes them go, it's from you.
Yeah.
But the dog has been trained on an e-collar to understand that it's their behavior that creates the stimulation, right? It's their behavior. If you trained your dog appropriately on the e-collar, your dog doesn't just think that the e-collar comes out of the ether. Your dog knows that it's connected to its behavior, connected to its choices, connected to bad choices, or whatever it is. And so if your dog is in a negative state of mind, and you correct at that moment, your dog actually connects that it's this, right? Like if you've got good timing, and it doesn't have to be amazing, but if you've got good timing and your dog's walking along, I'm gonna do a dog impersonation, your dog's walking along and all of a sudden it's this, and you correct, your dog knows that it was that caused the correction. And that might sound wild for people. I don't think people give dogs enough credit for them to connect those dots, but all dogs are trying to figure out is, how do I get through the day more easily, more comfortably, with the least amount of trouble? And so you use good timing, and every time your dog sees another dog and gets corrected, what your dog starts to do is not hate that dog more, but it starts to inhibit its choice of feeling like this, whatever that feeling is, and then that comes down, and it really does create a doorway or a gateway for your dog to start experiencing new feelings. I call it natural counter conditioning, and people may disagree with that. I mean, you can reinforce it with food and whatever you want to do, but the reality is the first thing you do is you stop it. And once you stop a behavior, all of a sudden the world opens up to develop new feelings about whatever the stimuli, whatever the triggers, whatever the issues, whatever the problems are. And if you don't, then those cycles of feelings that are already in play without the e-collar continue, and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we've never seen it connect to creating worse behavior. We've never seen the ticking time bomb. We've never seen dogs hate people more, hate dogs more. We've never ever seen it. All we've seen are dogs go, that thing I'm feeling, I can't do anymore. So I got to find a new way to feel about that situation. And what they do is they find a more comfortable, healthy way to feel about it. Because the reality is, like, it's so simple. Like if you walk past another dog and your dog doesn't, think about it, it's so, like, to me it's so simple, but like every time your dog walks past another dog and escalates and you correct, your dog just gets into a zone. If your timing's right, your dog gets into a zone where it never experiences that feeling again. Do you know what I mean? Like if your timing's good and your corrections are right, your dog never gets this anymore. And so it becomes a new habit. And the new habit is, there's a dog and no big whoop. I just walk right by him. I'm not even allowed to escalate. I couldn't if I wanted to. So what happens is I get a new pattern. I get a new habit. And I do it over and over again. And finally, like, there's a dog. There's a dog. I mean, I've just seen it with so many dogs.
Now, if you were to completely not train the dog on the e-collar and you had a nervous wreck of a dog, you slap an e-collar on it, turn it all the way up, which is, this is the same old saw, right? Like, oh, everyone's doing this on an e-collar. No, they're not. But if this was to happen, someone walks through the door and you correct at a high level, the dog might become superstitious about, oh my gosh, people walking through the door creates this pain and I don't know what to do with this. That's like so far from what you're doing.
That's called the worst training.
That's called the worst thing in the world for a dog. So we're not doing that at all. Now, the other thing that I always bring up to clients is, like, do you yell at your dog usually when they run? Not like yell, like screaming at them, but like, Francis! Do you usually, like, a lot of our clients that come in have usually like spent a lot of time yelling, leave it, no, get back here, grabbing the dog's collar, like going, no, bad dog, and bringing them somewhere else, you know what I mean? So they've already, and when they do that stuff, the dog's like stops, or like goes like, or like gets like, you know,
conflicted, or?
Or just like ashamed, or like, oh, you know, usually what they say is like, when I tell him no, he stops, but then he does it again, but then he stops. So the dog knows that you're disagreeing with that behavior, you know what I mean? So now by conditioning with the e-collar and then actually disagreeing with an e-collar correction, you're just finding a way that's more meaningful to disagree with the behavior.
Rather than just the verbal.
Yeah, because the verbal, you've already, like, if what you're asking was actually a true statement, then someone admonishing their dog for doing something wrong would be paired with the person coming in. So they would be like, oh, that a person equals me being yelled at by my owner. You know what I mean? But they're not doing that, because at the same time they're not, like, does that make sense?
I think so.
Like the correction by the owner could be anything else, like shaking a can of pennies or yelling no or saying leave it or grabbing the dog's collar, whatever it is like that. The dog's not associating that consequence with the person coming in the door. So if you condition the ECollar right, they're not going to associate the ECollar consequence with the person coming in the door.
Let me be clear. That's great. But
Like, that didn't make sense.
No.
I just think it makes sense to people.
Just different perspectives.
Yeah.
Right? Create an aversive that makes bad choices uncomfortable, and you will find your dog making good choices instead. Let's get this out of complicated world. Let's get this out of like scientific jargon and BS and all this other stuff. Make poor choices uncomfortable. And I tell you, I guarantee you, you will find your dog, if you do it right, timing right level of corrections, you will find your dog making better choices. It's as simple as that. They will not hate the things that they're being corrected for. They already dislike them. They already hate them.
Yep.
But what they will do is start to inhibit that emotional response to what it is, and you'll find your dogs making majorly better choices.
Yep.
So just keep it simple. Don't let all the propaganda and hubbub and silliness, don't let it confuse you. Don't let it bamboozle you. If it was the case that this was going on, we would have thousands of dogs running out there that were all like human aggressive and dog aggressive, and people would be like, my dog's 1,000 times worse than when he came to see you guys. We'd be like, I don't know what happened. I mean, like, he's supposed to be good. So we haven't seen it. So hopefully that has some value for you, and hopefully our convoluted explanations like maybe landed and made some sense for you and for other people.
We're about to lose light, so we got to sign off on this.
So we got to go.
We love you guys.
We do love you guys.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, and
sorry if the quality's not perfect because our internet connection here in NOLA isn't awesome. So we have to like
fingers crossed.
A small file and upload that, and then so the quality's not always perfect.
Yeah, you may not be able to even recognize us. It might be somebody else.
It's so pixelated.
Right. So, anyways, guys. 3 episodes to 100. Hang tough.
Jeez.
We'll have some good stuff. Laura's going to cook up something good, jump out of a chocolate cake, and we'll find out. Too shy. We'll get to the bottom of that
Becky
in the
with
comments.
The good hair. Check that out.
Screw Becky.
Bye
guys.